Is that where you're parking?
Yeah, why?
Oh, crap. While we're waiting on our other machine to get here that's going to help us transport this gravel into some of these hard to reach areas for a bigger machine, we're going to just do a little bit of hand work with some wheelbarrows and get started at least. I'm going to show you here what we're doing. We're just dumping it and only building up about a foot thick to start with, so we have kind of a nice easy, there it is, kind of a nice easy pathway to just keep extending it on in as we go. This area right here that we're backfilling is going to get filled completely with gravel. And on this side, obviously, we have the concrete wall. On the other side, we have basically a rock wall. It's about 6 to 8 feet wide here and getting wider as we go up. Now, this part is a little bit special, and something a little bit unusual is that we're going to have deck footings that literally are going to be about right here where I'm standing out in open space right now. But as it gets filled with the gravel, and we're going to compact this gravel to give us the best chance of having a solid base for our foundation, then we should be able to dig right back down into these layers that we're putting in right now.
You ready for a day of back pain?
I'm ready for a day of driving this instead of wheelbarrowing like we've been doing. Jason can drive it. Dude, I think he could give my farmer's tan a run for its money. What do you got going on there? Dude, yeah! Oh man, there's not many people that can beat me in that. So last time while we were driving this, we accidentally locked it out by activating some sort of PTO. How do we not do that?
It's this switch right here.
Okay.
So you hit the continuous hydraulics button.
Okay.
So there's no attachment on it, so it's just gonna bog it down.
You know? Oh, okay.
Start. Yeah.
It won't start either, yeah. You know,
Okay.
what's tricky though, it doesn't look like it's a button really. No. It just looks like a place to put your thumb. John's rolling out of here. We're gonna eat some lunch. If you guys need any equipment in the Franklin, Silva, Bryson City area,
Western North Carolina.
Western North Carolina, call John Hampton. He'll hook you up. All right, I have driven this dingo before, so I know what I'm in for, which is a wild ride, because you're just sort of bouncing around on the back of this thing, and you gotta hold on really tight. That's what I remember. So we're gonna start taking scoops from there, hauling them up and dumping them, and it's gonna be like, I don't know, several hundred scoops just to get up 4 feet here, is my guess. Here we go. Dump it in. Come in straight, yeah. Okay. All right, we'll get this dialed in a minute. We do need a bunch more gravel. But Jeremy's been keeping it piled up, and then even helping make sure my bucket gets totally full for each load by doing that, so we're not wasting any energy. So we're getting there.
Wow.
Boots are getting a good break in.
Dusty Perkins.
I dated a girl named Dusty, actually.
Her name was Dusty?
Mm-hmm. I liked it.
Did she wear flannel?
You can see the dust from this dump truck from where he was about a half mile down the hill from us. That's how dusty it is out here. It's nuts.
Here, let me get my windows up before he gets
No. You know, before this job, a dump truck load of something seemed like a lot of that thing. And now it's just like one little truckload. It's like nothing. So I'm thinking I could take the dingo, get him on the other side of the gravel, bring him a pile of gravel basically, just keep bringing gravel, let him grab it, spin around, dump. It's like a double handle, but I mean, that dump truck wasn't gonna back down there and twist the frame in half. Jeremy's got other plans here. It looks like he's just gonna let this stuff waterfall down the bank. Basically, gravel waterfall. Wow. I guess we better get some shovels. So we filled up right here what we can. We're to the top of the foam. Jeremy's gonna go down here, get a flat bench. I'm gonna come with the dingo and dump off the edge to him. He's gonna sit as low as he can, bring it in like we were talking about. So it's a little bit scary, but I'm just getting up to the edge here and dumping it off for Jeremy. And he's scooping it. How we looking? It's coming up. Somebody emailed us because you cussed in the background of one of our videos. Uh-oh. I said you must not be listening really close. He's cussing in all the background of our videos.
What, did they get hurt? They hurt?
I don't know.
They emailed you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
They say I shouldn't do that?
So this dingo is pretty great for dumping off the edge because you stand on the very back of it. If I was in a regular skid steer where you're like in the front of the cab, I don't know that I'd be driving right up to the edge.
It wouldn't feel good. None of it doesn't look good to watch.
It feels fine because
you
I'm
know,
standing way back there. I mean,
yeah,
I'm way on the back.
I think it's relatively safe.
Yeah, the
I really
machine
do.
might go off of there, but I won't.
It's not a problem. We're getting close to woodworking time, so I'm fixing up these sawhorses with Max. Somebody cut, what? Look, somebody cut the top of this into like 10 pieces. And it was another one too. I mean,
I don't know.
Look, I've cut a lot of horses up over the years. I have never cut one up like this, ever.
They're all staring at you.
Jono, I think Jono's taking the credit for that one.
I would bet all the money I've ever made in my life that it was you. Yeah.
Me?
Oh, 100%.
No, you
Yes,
kidding?
1,000%.
Dude, you don't even know what you're saying.
I hear a
man.
dump truck.
Yeah, that's
I better
good.
drink some water.
That's right on time.
There you go. Our job's half done, 3/4 done.
Today's video is brought to you by Factor Meals, and they are fresh, never frozen, chef prepared, dietitian approved, heat and eat in 2 minutes, no prep, no mess, America's #1 ready to eat meal kit.
Dude, that was pretty impressive, I ain't gonna lie.
I've been eating Factor Meals for about 2 years now, and I really love them because they give me a vegetarian option that tastes great. So I try not to eat meat every meal, which is hard because I love eating meat, but for health reasons, I try not to at lunch. So I've been eating their vegetarian options, although they do have some great meat options too. And I've always been super impressed with the taste. And I love the no prep, no mess, of course, especially in summer when I'm on the run, I'm going to work. And if I'm not at work, I'm going down to the lake or I'm doing some mountain biking. So I don't have a lot of time to go shopping, prepping meals, and then cleaning up all the dishes after. And I'm also not eating a gas station burrito or fish with hot sauce.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't know. Today I've got the 3-bean vegan chili, and it's just room temperature, which still tastes great because we don't have power out here yet. One of our fans sent us this Scandinavian gold hot sauce, so I'm gonna hit up some of that as well. Ooh! Oh, shoot! Factor meals are faster than fast food and less expensive than takeout, and they're flexible. You can get between 4 and 18 meals per week, so that's great. If you want to get started with Factor meals, just head to factor75.com or click the link in our video description and use my code Perkins50, and you'll get 50% off your first Factor box and then 20% off your next months of orders. That's factor75.com, 50% off your first Factor box and 20% off your next months. Thank you, Factor Meals, for sponsoring our video. Let's get back to work.
We've got our Pro Truss guys back here today, and we're just gonna verify some details about where the trusses intersect, where there's gonna be a slab over here, and we've got that on the drawing. We're looking at that area right there. right now the trusses are kind of sitting where the slab needs to go. And we may have to do something different, like do some hangers off of our sill plate that's gonna sit on top of a wall on top of our slab.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you just want to take that whole bearing length off of like the 10 inches off the trusses, and they'll just terminate right into that flush. There's a lot of details like this that if you don't really think about it, actually I didn't think about it. I'm glad y'all thought about it.
Are y'all double or single on that plate?
I think it's all single. We're talking about alternate methods here. One thing we could do if the strapping doesn't work out is build a wall up to the bottom of the trusses, or we could bolt like an angle iron, like a ledge across here where the bottom of the truss is and set them on that.
Why don't we just top cord? All right, so you're framing up here, you're framing the garage 2x6 walls.
Yep. Exterior, yeah.
Yeah. So why don't we do that top cord bearing 2?
You could, as long as it only sticks in 5.5. It couldn't stick in the whole 10 inch. Well,
Yeah.
it'd be basically what's left right here.
Yeah.
So if you
We
take
can-
if
we
you
can
take
do
a
that.
number on that.
That was
Yeah, we
easy.
can do that.
So our load kind of piled up in one spot. I'm gonna see if I can get in there and get scoops and bring them back. So this is probably not recommended, but what I'm having to do is stand on the ground and run the machine so that my little foot stand doesn't get bowed all the way to the ground and dig up all the gravel as I'm reversing. One more load, boys. Jeremy had to beg him because it's like 4:15.
I'm sorry, come again.
One more load. Jeremy had to beg him to come back.
You begged him to come back? We were begging him to go home.
Yikes!
I think it's gonna go around us.
I'm good, thank you, Jeremy.
I'll take one. Thanks, Jeremy. I think it's going around us there.
Sounds like it. Okay, Jeremy's guiding this guy in. We're gonna try and catch some of this out here with some gravel. Holy crap. That'll do it.
Down a hill further, right there,
That'd be fine.
good. That's fine. You don't want to go any closer to the bank. Run!
All right, tomorrow I think we can do the waterproofing membrane and foam it up while they do the slab. We are back at the job this morning. We're getting going with this waterproofing membrane and this insulation going on up to the top. And we're not using ladders, which was our plan all along, to backfill half. So this is amazing. It's actually easy. These guys are like an old married couple while they're putting this stuff on. I mean,
you had that side because you got the ladder. I thought you had the top. I did the bottom.
Your side fell down. You didn't.
Well,
want
you
a
were
ladder.
supposed to be
You
holding
didn't even
it.
want a ladder.
I know, but you got the ladder, so I thought you were going to hold the top, and I
then
would
you
do the
pulled-
bottom.
And then you pulled all the paper off by yourself.
Yeah, because
is this gonna be all day?
No, we're only working half day, right?
Another thing that's going to happen in a minute here is they're going to do this half of the stamped colored concrete. And I just talked to Antonio over here. He said they don't like to do more than 14 yards at a time because it can get away from you. So I'm really excited to show a little bit of that. Again, we're not doing it, but I asked him and he said it's cool if I stick around and just watch him.
I can tell these guys really take it seriously, this concrete pouring stuff. He's been up there cleaning and like using a grinder with a sanding disc to clean his trowel and like shape the corners
I saw him doing
a little
that
bit.
too.
He was like
ooh.
tuning it up, getting it ready.
Luckily, this foam board just snaps once you score it. Ray's going to demonstrate right here.
Oh, no!
I better not mess with Ray. The guy is jacked.
Dude, we have any like company anger management classes or anything that he can check into?
I'm only angry because I gotta listen to you guys bicker all day.
You guys are big. I can't hear a word you're saying. We're the bitches dang boys.
Perfect.
Booyah. Just got to tap it in, Ray. Tap it in. We're going to add about another 2 feet of foam here and stop it below grade, somewhere about there. So it's not going to be close to our woodwork, but I'm curious and I'm actually wondering myself if we're going to have to do some sort of a metal cap that goes over the top of this and rolls down for termites.
You gotta ask the termite, what does the termite want?
Some
What
wood,
do you even want?
some wet wood.
Okay, so I see gravel. I see foam. Do they want foam?
No.
Do they know when they're in the ground that the house way up there is made of wood?
Maybe if they go on a little adventure and find it, I don't know.
I would like to know.
You don't get any better than that, bro.
No, you don't.
Applying the waterproofing membrane in 2 lifts like we've done here has achieved our goal of getting the flattest, most wrinkle-free bituthane installation that we've ever had. Here's a look at the stamps for the stamped concrete, and it looks like a wooden plank pattern. You can see that. So it may actually look like a wooden plank floor is what I'm assuming, if they just stamp these how you do a lay a floor. That's gonna look cool.
Yep.
Straight away, these guys are adding the coloring to the concrete. They did not add it at the plant, so whatever they're doing here is adding all the color.
Just in case you've ever wondered how the concrete comes out of the truck when they want it to and not when they don't,
Like now.
the inside of the drum is like a giant reverse screw. And when they spin it one way, it shoves all the concrete toward the non-open end. And when they want it to come out, it actually travels up these screw-like inclined areas that make it come out the end. And they can.
Big ramp.
It's weird. It's a ramp, but it's a spiral too.
They let just a little bit of this concrete run out the chute to see if it was fully mixed, the coloring, and it wasn't. So they rake that down to it's going to be at the bottom. We'll mix it again, then we'll roll it. I'm going to be trying to learn what I can from these guys. They do this every day, and they're probably a lot better at it than we are. Stuff looked like pretty much regular color concrete, so you contrast it to concrete without any dye in it right next to it. You can see how much more brown it looks. They do a lot more swiping than we do with the street
Yeah,
pole.
we kind of like do the saw motion and kind of pull it. And I'm wondering if the way they're doing it, see how they kind of lift it?
Yeah.
And maybe it pushes the gravel part of the concrete down more than just kind of cutting it and leaving whatever the edge is. I don't know.
We can only speculate.
I know. I mean, I'm going to sit here for a while and think about it.
We're getting into our second truck here now. And if you didn't realize, we don't know these guys. They're actually from down near Shelby, which is near Charlotte, 2 hours down the road.
Almost 3.
Almost 3.
Yes.
Gosh. Well, they're doing a great job here, so you guys can look them up. Vanna Construction, if you're down near Charlotte or surrounding and need some flat work done. Like I said, you guys just making it look easy.
Thank you. Thank you. It's not about thank you.
Yeah, I know it's not. See, I know. Yes, I've done it. Worked this thing pretty hard.
I'm noticing, yeah, it's like there's not a lot of water just like on the top, like
No.
it's not that wet. That's good though, because the less water it has, the stronger it is when it cures.
And it'll cure quicker before it rains. Also, I got a bill for you. You got a checkbook?
Of course.
We're gonna set some of our anchor bolts now, and we're just paying attention where the door openings are, which are mostly up there. And otherwise, we don't know the exact stud layout necessarily, so we're just gonna put these on the like more than code minimum spacing, and hopefully they don't land directly under studs. If they do, we might just change our stud layout.
I think so. I measured and marked the door opening right here. We have a really wide door. It's 12 feet wide. And so I want to anchor bolt almost a foot away from the edge of the opening, because we'll have a bunch of jack studs and king studs that are going to stack out to probably be at least 8 inches worth of framing that's solid. I don't want to bolt under.
It's been about an hour, and it looks like we're prepping for the stamping now. They snapped a line through that was parallel with this wall. So I guess if they start stamping here, they'll be in line with their pattern or their bond, whatever, going this way and that way. That was a good idea. This looks a lot like laying a hardwood floor. They're trying to stagger the joints, not have any line up, make everything look nice. So they're saying this powder they threw on here helps just release the mats so you don't get concrete stuck to the mats. And it also helps color the concrete. I see what these are for now. They're like the pattern on the back, but they're flimsy, so they can like lip them up where there's a pipe or something. I'm not really sure what the cost is on this per square foot or whatever, but I'm sure it's not cheap, and I totally see why. It's just a ton of work. I mean, you're basically on a running clock here with the concrete, which is stressful, and you're basically laying a hardwood floor, having to be very meticulous, making sure you pound every single piece just right before you move it. They're picking some up and then looking and then putting back down, pounding again. It's just a very tedious process, and it's hot, and it's just, it's not a fun process, but it's gonna be a really cool result, I think. Looking good, guys. This is gonna save us so much time not having to cut all the finished floor around the walls. Like y'all can just run straight through the whole slab at once.
Yeah.
That's a wrap for these guys, except for they're gonna sit around, I guess, for about an hour or so till this cures out a little more and they can run their saw that's built for kind of green concrete right there. They're gonna cut some control joints in the slab so it cracks like in a straight line. If you didn't know, concrete cracks, like no matter what you do, pretty much. So the name of the game is cutting a weak spot in a straight line so that when it cracks in a straight line. It doesn't look bad. So they're gonna do that, and then they'll be back again tomorrow to do this other half. But y'all did a great job, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
We got some buckets in the mail from Sashko, makers of Big Stretch, which they say is stretchier than your wife's yoga pants.
Wow.
So that could be a good reference for you.
All right,
Go check it out. Make sure. This is in celebration of their new colors available for Big Stretch. Here's a color chart of all the colors available. So this is our go-to caulk for pretty much anything because it stretches instead of cracks. And we got some shirts. Oh boy, what's it gonna say? Here you go. Hold this up, Jamie.
Oh man, I don't know. I'm scared. I'm scared. All right, what does it say?
Okay, normalize going to trade school. That's a great shirt, actually.
It is, and on the back we got a little hashtag
Support the trades, and we do support the trades. We're
I like
gonna
that.
donate to a trade school at the Sashko Teachers Dinner. We're gonna give a lump sum of money to a trade school. Did you even know that?
No, I'm glad to hear it though. That's a great thing to do.
We're gonna dig through the rest of this, but thank you, Sashko. Make sure to go check out the new colors of Big Stretch. It's available at Lowe's and a lot of other like hardware stores and stuff. And we're gonna get back to work. This morning we're working the waterproofing membrane and the foam around this side of the house, and we snapped a line here where we think the future grade of the backfill is going to be instead of going all the way up, so that we don't have to try and peel this off later. It does come off, but it kind of leaves like a black sticky residue like you'd imagine.
So we're trying to guesstimate and get it right the first shot here.
Go backwards the same speed, but uncurl it a little slower.
All I heard was blah, 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 blah.
Was that it?
I'm just thinking to myself that these concrete guys are probably like, this is their machine operator.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's thinking that, but. Right now we have 8 feet of foam put into the backfill area. We need it to be higher, close to 10 feet, but not quite. Luckily, this stuff is kind of pre-scored at 16-inch lines. I'd like it to be a little higher, maybe 18 at the most, but 16 will work because it's so fast and easy just to break these boards. And we can always add a little bit more if we feel like we need to. We do want it to be below grade though. We don't want it sticking up above the grade no matter what. Right, you cannot have this stuff exposed. You don't want it visible, like it doesn't look good. It's not meant to be seen. Yeah. Also, it has to be covered with something because of the UV would deteriorate the foam if it was exposed. Right. There's lots of reasons. At any rate, we want like this much dirt over it and you'll never know it's there. And basically, we're gonna reveal that top section of concrete that's divided off right there. You can see it. That's gonna all be exposed. Trying to teach my son how to really use his head here on the job site. We're gonna see if he learned anything or not. Yep, he did.